Oh, hey everybody. So, welcome to the next episode of the Metaverse series. This in particular is the math series. I'm going to be teaching different mathematical concepts here. And so, with this episode, we're doing multiplication. With multiplication, I found that it was a little difficult to explain it because, or at least just give a specific definition, because anytime you have a definition that uses a word in it, I feel that doesn't do it any justice. So what I did was I kind of didn't focus so much on trying to define multiplication as giving examples, and I figured those examples would be good enough of a explanation. So in the first part, we're introducing the concept and even have a little fun with it. Then we say multiplication is a lot like adding. Really, take this equation, for example. 2 multiplied by 4 is the same as adding 2 together 4 times. And then we display that 2 times 4 is the same as saying 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Then we switch it around. We say, on the other hand, 4 multiplied by 2 is the same as adding 4 together 2 times. And we just have 4 plus 4. Both of these outcomes equal 8. And I was thinking about putting that in there, but I didn't want to throw too many numbers out there early on. But anyhow, when you see a multiplication problem, take the first number in the equation and add it to itself by the there's a typo. Add it to itself by however much the second number in the equation is worth. And I was really trying to, I actually struggled on this one a little bit. I was trying to think if this was an adequate way to explain what I was saying. Like, you take the first number in the equation, that's 4, and then you add it to itself, 2 times. I was trying to really make sure that this sentence and this wording would get that idea across. So that's why I put this up here again. And then here I just give a few of the words that indicate when multiplication is taking place. Times, product, twice, and of are ones for sure. And there are a few other phrases that are trickier, but that comes with the higher division math courses. Anyhow, let's see what we've learned. Use a piece of paper or count with your fingers for the following question. And I say that because in this one we're actually going to use a multiply logic box. What we're going to do is we're going to put this in, and it says please enter the missing number in this equation. And so what we've done is we've put in 5 times blank equals 10. Now with that concept that I mentioned earlier, hopefully the student would see 5, they would put it down on a piece of paper, and then they would start adding it to itself until they got 10. Once they'd realize that 5 plus 5 equals 10, and they see that they have 2 5s, they would hopefully realize that the answer is 2. And that's why we're doing response equals 2. Then what we do is we're actually going to do it to where we transition it to a multiply logic box that multiplies it by 5, and then we'll transition, and then that one transitions into another one that takes it to the value of 10. So this is actually going to be pretty interesting. What it's going to do is it's not going to just take 2 by itself. We could have done that, but I figured that it would have, now is a perfect opportunity to actually put this concept into display or into play. So what we're going to do when we try this out, it should multiply by 10 and let us through anyway. But we just have to see. So hey there, today we're going to discuss multiplication. Multiplication is a lot like adding, really, da 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 da. And the font actually seems to be holding up well. I was worried it would blend in a bit, but it's doing good. So when you see a multiplication problem, take the first number in the equation, in this case 4, and add it to itself by however much the second number in the equation is worth. That's how I was taught to do it when I was younger. There are other shortcuts, but that's how I remember doing it. I still do it even when I'm stuck on bigger numbers. I just use a calculator. So let's apply what we've learned. Use piece of paper, count, and then please enter the missing number. So I'm actually going to put in a wrong number, and we're going to see if it takes us to our alternate. Okay, and it seems like we've got a bit of a problem here. So I think what I need to do as well is I need to have this transition to my my alternate scene, where if the number is wrong, it'll take us here. I think without it, it will just get stuck and go nowhere. So now let's give it a shot again. That was an oversight on my behalf. Sorry about that. But at least that was an opportunity for us to show what happens if you don't link all your logic boxes together. You can't just leave them empty, or else then the student will get stuck. So, silver lining. But okay, so adding it to itself. Then this is the part where we mention the different words, the trigger words, or the stinger words. Sometimes professors will say that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna once again try putting in the wrong answer. Put in 1. Alright, cool, and it takes us to our alternate scene. Yeah, once again, sorry about that. That was a mistake. But in alternate scene, I even say, try adding 5 by itself on a piece of paper, and when you eventually get 10, write the number of 5s you had to add to 5. Another typo. Now, write the number of times you had to add 5 to itself. So that 5 needs to go, the first or second one. But I'll fix that after we finish this experience. So let me put in 2. And 2 gets multiplied by the 5 in our multiply logic box and completes the experience. So real quick, I just need to fix this typo. Okay, and write the number of times you had to add 5 to itself as the second part of the equation. Alright, but yeah, that's basically the concept in a gist. Really, with this multiply logic box, I can see it being used for more game experiences, or any time where you want to multiply a number and then do damage, because by all intents and purposes we could have just used response equals, but I did want to practice with this and see how it works, and then also display it for you guys. So now we've learned a few things, and thank you for your time. Bye bye.